Hi everyone, Natalie Madison here. Today we're talking about how to choose the correct board and box to fit your cake. So we've gone through all of the trouble of creating this beautiful decorated cake for a neighbor or a family member. The last thing we want to do is let it touch the sides of our box. But how do we determine the right size box and the right size corrugated board? Well, it's super easy. We're actually going to start by measuring the cake pan that we use to bake the cake to begin with. So take your pan and using a ruler, place it across the back side or the bottom side of that pan. And from here, you're going to move that ruler around until you find the widest point across center. And that widest point is going to mark how large your cake is. So this diameter is actually 8 inches, and we're using an 8-inch round cake. Now, how do we determine what size board to put on our cake or under our cake? So our presentation board, our cake is an 8-inch, but if we use an 8-inch corrugated board, it's going to be really close to those outside edges. And that means when we put it into our box, that cake can slide around and hit the edges. So we always tell everybody to go with a corrugated board that's about 2 inches wider. And that gives us a little bit of border space all the way around, not only to pipe a pretty finishing border, but also once you place it in the box, it keeps that cake from sliding around and bumping the edge of your box. So for our 8-inch round cake, we're using a 10-inch round board. Any type of presentation board works great. You can use corrugated boards, and ours happen to be the really high quality grease-proof or grease-resistant boards. We also use foiled cake drums, which are beautiful presentations. We even have masonite if you want to cover your boards in something spectacular. So I've determined what size board I need, and my box is going to be that same size. So when I come in asking for a 10-inch cake circle, I'm also going to ask for a 10-inch box. All the time we get the question of what box do I need to put my bundt cake or pound cake in? And that's a little trickier. A lot of people assume that a bundt cake or pound cake is one industry size, but that is not the case. We actually have multiple sizes in bundt pans. This one, if I again take my ruler and measure across the widest point, it is 9 inches in diameter. But some of my pound cake, angel food cake, and bundt cake pans range anywhere from 8 inches to 12. So it's really important to catch the longest edge or the longest diameter across that pan. From there, again, you're going to decide what size circle you want to put under your cake pan. If you choose one that's too close to the edge, then the sides of your bundt is probably going to touch the sides of your box. That'll leave little grease or smears of icing. We want to avoid that if possible. So we would go one size larger with our round as well. So a 12-inch cake board to go with our 9-inch bundt pan. I hope that clears up your questions about what size box or board you need to transport your cake. And I look forward to answering any questions you might have. Thanks for joining us and have a wonderful day.